Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Living Life Barefoot. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how I make money from home growing microgreens. Today is planting day on the farm, so I'm grabbing my seeds, a scale, and something to measure my seeds in. Today's planting day is relatively small, so I only have 3 or 4 varieties I'm going to measure out. My first variety here is a microgreen radish. I use rainbow radish. I absolutely love the purple color of the rainbow radish, and it does have a nice spicy kick to it. I'm going to move on. Oh, that's not the right variety. Move on to the next variety, and this is microgreen broccoli. I do measure all of my seeds out in grams. The seeding density is very important when you're growing microgreens, so I highly suggest finding a microgreen chart that has those seed densities on it. This third variety I'm measuring out here is our basic salad mix. It's definitely a favorite, and I highly recommend growing this variety in your business. Last but not least, I'm measuring out seeds for a tray of kohlrabi. Now we're moving out to the garage. This is where I do most of my planting. As you can see here, I have all the trays already prepped with the soil. And what I'm doing here is actually using risers for my tables. I actually forgot to put the risers on before I filled the trays. So, always make sure that you put those risers on before you fill the trays, because this could get pretty sketchy. I would hate to dump all of these trays out on the ground. I do recommend getting these risers. They're just bed risers. It just helps elevate your table so you're not bending over and hurting your back. I do need to purchase more for the last table we have. It's always good to have help around the farm. I had these fine young gentlemen helping me out. Whoop, little clap, here we go. What I do is water all of my trays. I usually use the shower setting or possibly the mist setting on my hose. I use the 10 by 10 and 10 by 20 trays from Bootstrap Farmer. I absolutely love these trays. I will never have to replace them, only, order more as my business grows. I will link these trays down below for you guys. Let's go ahead and sow these seeds. You're gonna sow them right on top of the soil. As you can see here, these Dixie cups make it pretty easy to spread out the seeds. This first variety that I'm sowing is the rainbow radish. And you can see I kind of go different ways. You just wanna make sure you don't have seeds piled up on top of each other. You want it nice and even. Having that nice even sowing surface with your soil too really helps. You don't want any hills in your soil. You want to make sure you compress the soil down so you have a nice even flat sowing surface. That'll help with germination as well. Moving on to the variety kohlrabi. I just had 1 tray to plant here, but as you can see, I have different colored trays, and this really helped at the beginning of my business, keeping the different varieties separate and keeping my tray count on track for those varieties. Most of your smaller microgreen varieties, the seeds look really, really similar. So until you can really recognize the seed by just looking at it, again, these color-coded trays helped me out a ton at the beginning of my business. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up with the broccoli seed, and then we're gonna move on to the salad mix. Just look at that balance of those cups I'm holding. 10 cups of the salad mix seed here. That comes with practice. I'm just teasing. You really just want to make sure your cups are very secure. I have had my cups spill over, and that is definitely not something you want to happen. You also don't need to use these Dixie cups. It's really just what I started using at the very beginning of my business. The cups fit really nicely in my hand, and I'm able to control the seeds as I'm shaking them out onto the tray. So it's just really worked for me, but you can just find whatever works for you. I've seen a lot of microgreens farmers actually use like salt shakers too, and I think that would work pretty good. Oh look, I'm barefoot. Imagine that. This isn't a requirement for having a microgreens business, but I definitely recommend it. So here I really just wanted to show you the seed density. You are gonna sow a ton of seeds here. So I just kind of wanted to get a close-up so you can see what that looks like. I tried to sow the seeds and spread them out as even as possible. You really want to nail this down because it'll help with your germination. Again, knowing your seed density is super, super important. Here's the last tray. This one is the salad mix. Lots and lots of seed babies. It's time for the final watering. This watering will be the last one you do for 4 days. So you definitely want to make sure you give it enough water. You don't want your water pulling up and it being like saturated, but you just definitely want to give it enough water here to last the 4 days in germination. As you grow several rounds or several cycles of your microgreens, you will definitely get the feel of the watering. It'll definitely just take practice. Again, I'm using the shower or the mist setting on my hose here. I had an extra tray down at the back here that I didn't have enough room on my table, so I need to sew that last tray real quick, and I'll give it another good little water here. It is always nice to have several tables set up. It'll make planting go by very fast. Now we're gonna go ahead and stack the trays. I like to stack my trays up 4 high. There's really no method to my madness here. I do like to keep most of the same varieties together. That doesn't always happen, and that's okay. And you don't always have enough to have a stack of 4 high. That is okay too. Here I have 2, and then my last tray is just gonna be 1 single tray. Absolutely love this little cart. My growing room is actually on the other side of the house than my garage. So this cart helps move all of those trays to the back room all at once. I'm gonna go ahead and cover these trays with my black topper tray without holes. And we are going to go ahead and go to the grow room. All right, welcome to my grow room. It is a spare bedroom that we have. And as you can see here, I grow vertically. This allows you to grow several microgreen trays in a very small space. So I'm gonna go ahead and set all these trays on my germination rack. It will stay in germination for the next 4 days. Next up, I'm gonna put these heavy pavers on top of my microgreen trays. I like to push the heavy ones all the way back. These are probably, I don't know, 10, 15 pounds. And then I'm going to, here I put the smaller ones on my 10 by 10 trays, but I'm gonna grab those smaller pavers and put them at the end of the trays. This will help keep that weight nice and even. That was planting day here at Living Life Barefoot. Wait. What is this I see over here? Oh my gosh, it's my, wait a minute. Wait, we have got to see this again. Yes, this is my Tiny Greens Big Dreams Launch Your Own Microgreens course book. If you like today's video and you want to learn more and you want to grow your own microgreens business, please check out our Tiny Greens Big Dreams Microgreens course book. You can find it at barefootmicrogreens.com. And since you stayed to the very, very end, I am going to drop a discount down below and you can get $100 off this microgreens course book. I believe there should be a microgreens grower everywhere. Everyone should have access to this superfood.